Good morning, dear students. My name is Ferhan Mazher, and today we are studying Cambridge O Levels D Maths 4024. We are working on the syllabus, and today we are studying from the book D2. This is the name of the book is New Syllabus Mathematics 7th edition. And this chapter is about the quadratic equations and their graphs. Today we have selected exercise 5C, and this is my first video on this exercise. This exercise is about the graphs of the quadratic functions or the quadratic equations. So we will learn how to draw the graphs on a graph paper. The graphs will be related with the quadratic equations. So this is the first video on this exercise. Let's see that how many questions we can do from the exercise 5C D2. The book name is book 2, or we call it the D2 book. So let's start today's work. Okay, so the exercise 5C, the question number 1 is showing up on your screen. He says the variable x and y are connected by the equation y is equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8. Some values of x and corresponding values of y are given in the table. So there are different values of the x given here. For example, if you put minus 5 in this equation in the place of x, you will get 7. If you put minus 4, the value will be a, and we have to find out the value of a. Minus 3, you will get the value y as minus 5. If you put x equals to minus 2 in this equation, you get minus 8. If you put minus 1 in this equation, in the place of x, you get minus 9. If you put 1 in this equation, so that value will be b, and we have to find out that. So the values of the x are given, and the values of the y we have to find out. There are two. The first part is find the value of the a and of the b. Then he says, so we will find out this, okay? Then he says on the sheet of the graph paper using a scale of the 2 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the x-axis and the 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the y-axis. Draw the graph of the y equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8 for x values of from minus 5 to 3. So let's do the first part here. Here we go. So this is that equation y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 8. So in the place of the x, I will substitute minus 4. So this is that equation. So in the place of x, we substituted minus 4. So in your calculator, you will write bracket start minus 4 bracket close square plus 2 bracket start minus 4 bracket close minus 8 equals to, and that will be 0. So the value of the a is 0. Now I want to find out the value of the b. So in this equation, in the place of x, I will put 1. So here we go. So in your calculator, you will enter bracket start 1 bracket close square plus 2 bracket start 1 bracket close minus 8 equals to, and that will be minus 5. So the value of the a is 0, and the value of the, so you can see the whole question, I think. Now you can see the whole, this is the section, the a part of that question. So in which we have to find out the value of this a and the value of this b, and this is how you will find this value. Okay, the next question is they want you to find out, they want you to draw this graph. So I will take a graph paper and I will make a grid on it. And you can see that the values of the x are going from minus 4 to up to 3. So the values of x are in negative and they are also in positive. In negative, they go up to minus 5, and in positive, they go up to 3. And the values of the y, they are in the positive, they go to the 7. A maximum value on the net positive side on the y is 7, and the minimum value on the y is minus 9. So according to this, I will draw a grid. So here you can see, let me show you if I can show you the whole thing. Okay, so first of all, I will draw this grid. I hope you can see this. I will draw this grid, And you can see that, sorry. So on 2 squares equals to 1 on the x-axis, and 1 centimeter represents 1 centimeter represents 1 on the y-axis. So first of all, I will draw these lines, and I will make this grid. Then I will use these points. At -5, you have to plot 7. So here you have -5, and this is the 7. So put a dot here. And then you can see that at -4, you will have 0. At -4, 0, put this dot. Okay, so then at -3, you have -5. At -3, you will have -5. So this is that dot. And then you have at -2, you have -8. At -2, you will have -8. So I will put this dot. And then you have at -1, you have -9. So at -1, we will have -9. We put this dot. And then you have at 1, you will have -5. So at 1, we will have -5. This is that point. And then at 2, you will have 0. So this is that dot. And then you have at 3, you have 7. So we will put at 3, you will have 7. We'll put this dot. Then, because this is a quadratic equation whose graph is this, and this is always, this shape is called a parabola shape. So I will join these points with a smooth curve. I will try to draw a smooth curve. So you can see I have joined them with a smooth curve. Okay. So this is how you will do, join them. Okay. So the next thing they are asking us is, we have drawn, this was the B part. We have drawn the graph on the graph paper. He says use your graph in the B to find the values of the x when the y is 3. So when the y is 3, so what I will do, I will draw a line at y equals to, you see, I will draw a line at y equals to 3. So this is that blue colored line. So whenever this line cuts your main graph at these points, I will check what are the values of the. So here, what is the value of the x? At this point, the y equals to 3 line has cut the graph. So the value here is -4.5. And what is the value here? It's 2.5. Approximately, it is 2.5. Okay, so that is the part which they ask us, C first part. In the second part, C second part, he says find the minimum value of the y. Okay, so the minimum value of the y, so you can see here, this is the shape of the graph. So the minimum value of the y is here. So what is that value of the y? That is 9, -9. So the minimum value of the y will be -9. So that is the question. Okay. Now the next question they are asking is, state the equation of the line of the symmetry of the graph. The line of symmetry of the parabola graph is that line which passes through its is this turning point. So I have drawn this line. So this is the line of symmetry. And because this line is a vertical line, so its equation is x equals to constant. So here that constant is -1. So x equals to -1 is the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry will the line will cut the. You see, this is that line. So the line of symmetry will cut that means graph into 2 equal parts. It is a vertical line always, and in the case of the quadratic functions, the line of symmetry of the quadratic graph is always a vertical line, and it passes from the turning point, from where the graph takes the turn. So this value is -1, x equals to -1. So the equation of this line of symmetry is, here we have that equation. I can show you x equals to -1. So hopefully you understand. So this is how this question is done. So this was question number 1 of the exercise 5C. Okay, so we are going to the next question. The next question coming up on your screen is question number 2. He says the variable x and y are connected by the equation y equals to 2 - 3x - 2x squared. Some values of the x and the corresponding values of the y are given in the table. So the different values of the x from -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, they are given here. The values of the y, they are also given, -18, for example, here 0, 3, 2, and -12. And when the x is -3, the value of the y is p, and we want to find out the value of the p. And when the value of the x is 1, the value of the y will be q, and we want to find out this value. So that's the first question. So let me show you how this is done. So on your screen, and this is showing up. So this is that question number 2 basically, and this is the equation. And when the value of the x is -3, the value of the y will be p, and we want to find out this. And when the value of the x is 1, so what is the value of the y? That will be q, and we want to find out this. So on your screen, you can see that is showing up y is equals to 2 minus 3x minus 2x. Here is the equation. So when the value of the y is -3, when the value of the x is -3, what will be the value of the y? So we will, in the place of x in that equation, I will substitute the x with the -3. So in your calculator, you will write 2 minus 3 bracket start minus 3 bracket close -2 bracket start -3 bracket close whole square equals to, and it will be -7. So when the x value is -3, the y value will be -7. And in the same way, their next question was, when the value of the x is 1, what is the value of the y? And he named it as q. So the q will be, in the place of the x in that equation, substitute the x with 1. So 2 minus 3 bracket start 1 bracket close -2 bracket start 1 bracket close square equals to, and your answer on the calculator will be -3. So the p value is -7, and the q value is -3. So this is how you will do this question. And I hope you understand this. This whole thing is showing up on your screen, so you can pause the video and you can take your time. Okay, so the next part, they are showing up, and so what they want, this table is given. He says, on a sheet of the graph paper using a scale of 2 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the y-axis, draw the graph of the y equals to 2 minus 3x minus 2x squared for the x greater than and equals to -4 and less than and equals to 2. Okay, so now before you start drawing it on the graph paper, you should understand that what are the values of x. The values of the x are here going from -4 to up to +2. So on the x-axis, I have to represent 1 unit with the 2 centimeters, and on the y-axis, 1 centimeter represents 1. So this is my table, and this is my scale. So I will take a graph paper. So here we go. So I will take a graph paper, and you see, let me show you. So I will draw this grid. You can see this grid has been drawn on the whole. On the x-axis, I have taken 1, 2, 3. 2 centimeter represents 1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. And on the y-axis, 1 centimeter represents 1. So here you have 2, 4, 6. 2, -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12, -14, -16, -18. So now I will draw that graph. So at -4, I will have to put -18. At -4, I will put a dot of -18. So here I put this dot, and then we have at -3, the value is -7. So at -3, I will put the -3 -7. So I'll put a dot here. So then at -2, you have 0. At -2, you have 0. At -2, 0. Put this dot. And then you have at -1, you have 3. Okay, so at -1, we will have +3. And at 0, you will have 2. So at 0, you will have 2. Okay. And then, oh, sorry. At 1, you have -3. At 1, I will have -3. So I put a dot here. Okay. So then we have at 2, you have -12. At 2, you have -12. Okay. If you look at these points here, these points, they are at -1, you have 3 value. So I will take an extra point. So in that equation, I will put minus 0.5. So in your calculator, you will enter 2 minus 3 bracket minus 0.5 bracket close minus 2 bracket minus 0.5 bracket close square and equals to. So I will put that value and I will get this answer 3. Okay. So I will put this dot. So at minus 0.5, x value of minus 0.5, the value of the y is 3. So I will put this dot. Okay. So then I will, okay. So then you see what we will do. Still, these 2 points are at the same level. At -1, you have 3. At minus 0.5, you have 3. So at both the values, the point has the same y value, so they are on the same level. So I will take a value between them. So I will take a value on minus 0.75. So it will be 3 point something. So I will put a dot here. This should never be flat. It should always be a smooth curve. So then I will join these points. You can see I've joined these points with a smooth curve. It's a parabola shape. We call this shape a sad face. So this is how you will do this. So let me increase the size so you can see it more clearly. So this is the shape, and here we go. Okay, so the next thing they are asking, we have drawn that graph. Okay, use your graph in the B part to find the value of the y when x is equals to minus 3.5. So x equals to minus 3.5. This is that I have drawn this blue line. So you can see I have drawn this blue line. It is passing from x equals to minus 3.5. It's a vertical line. And what we will do, we will draw this line, which represents x equals to minus 3.5. So when it cuts your graph at that point, you will check what is the value of the question was, when the value of the x is 3.5, what is the value of the y? So I will check what is the value of the y here. It is approximately, I think it's approximately something like minus, I think 12. Yeah, it's minus 12. So you can see also here, I have written here, so I can increase the size so you can see it more clearly. So here you can see I have written here minus 12. So when this point cuts the main graph, the value of the y there is minus 12. Okay, what is the next question? They want you to find the maximum value of the y and the value of the x at which this occurs. Okay, so what is the maximum value of the y? You can see here. So the maximum value of the y here, you can see this. The maximum value of the y here is it's 2.2. Sorry, it's it's 3 point something. It's 3 point something, and this happens at minus 0.75. Okay, the value of the x here is minus 0.75, and the value of the y here is 3 point something. So my answer is at x minus 0.75, this happened. You have the maximum value, and the maximum value is y equals to 3.125. So this is the graph. Okay. So I hope you understand this. Let me check if there is another question. No, is not asking any other question on this graph paper. So this is, my dear students, the graph, which is, let me increase the size so you can see the whole. So this is that graph, which is of the question number 2 of the exercise 5C. I hope you understand, and you will draw this graph on there. Okay. So we are going to the next question. The next question is question number 3. And the interesting thing is you don't have to draw the graph. The graph is already drawn here. The figure shows the curve y equals to minus x squared minus x plus 20. The curve cuts the x-axis at 2 points A and B, and the y-axis at the point C. Find the coordinates of A, B, and C. So we have this equation, and y equals to minus x squared minus x plus 20. So when this graph cuts the x-axis, whenever a line or a graph or a curve cuts the x-axis, the value of the y will be definitely 0. So in this equation, we will, in the place of the y, we will put 0, and then we will factorize it and we will try to find out the value of that. Okay. So here we go. The slide is not that clear, unfortunately. Okay. So y is equals to minus x squared minus x plus 20. So if you want to find out the value of the a and the b, so when the graph cuts the x-axis, the y should be 0. So in that equation, in the place of the y, I will put 0. So you will have 0 is equals to minus x squared minus x plus 20. So bring all of them to the left side. So it will become x squared plus x minus 20 equals to 0. So I will multiply the extreme terms. I'm going to try the midterm breaking. So when I multiply the extreme terms, I get 20. So I will write the factors of the 20. There are 1 multiplied 20, 2 multiplied 10, and the 4 multiplied 5. So because with the third term, we have the negative sign. So I'm looking for that pair, which by subtraction will give plus 1. So 5 and 4 is that pair. You multiply them, you get 20. And when you subtract them, you get 1. Because you want plus 1, so with the larger number, we'll put the positive sign. And with the smaller number, I will put the negative sign. So you can write here, I have done the midterm breaking here. So it's x squared plus 5x minus 4x minus 20 equals to 0. So you will have from the first two terms, you can see the x is common. So when I will take the x common, so I will have in the bracket x plus 5. From the last two terms, minus 4 is common. So in the bracket, we will have x plus 5 equal to 0. So now this x plus 5 bracket can be common. So from here, you will have x. From here, you will have minus 4. And that is equals to 0. So these two brackets, they are multiplying with each other and their answer is 0. So it means either the first bracket is 0 or the second bracket is 0. So x plus 5 is equals to 0. So x will be equals to minus 5. So the coordinates of the point A will be minus 5 comma 0. In the same way, x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x will be equals to 4. So the coordinates of the point B are 4 comma 0. So this is how you will find the coordinates of the point A and the point B. Next, they ask us to find out the coordinates of the point C, and the coordinates of the point C very simple because the C is the point where C is the point where the graph cuts the graph is cutting the y-axis. So when the graph cuts the y-axis, the x will be 0. So in your equation, the main equation, that's your equation, y is equals to minus x squared minus x plus 20. So in the place of the x, we will put substitute 0. So you will have minus bracket start 0 bracket close square minus bracket start 0 bracket close plus 20. So the value of the y will be 20. So the coordinates of the C will be 0 comma 20. Okay, so that is how you will find the coordinates of that C point. And the next question they are asking is the point D, which is 3 comma h, lies on the curve. Find the values of the h. So if the D point is lies on this curve, so in this equation, I will substitute x with the 3 and the y with h. X with 3 and the y with the h, and we will be able to find out the value. So you can see here, I have done that. Okay. So in the place of the x, I will put 3, and in the place of the y, I will put h. So h will be equals to minus bracket start 3 bracket close whole square minus bracket start 3 bracket close plus 20 equals to, and that will be 8. So the value of the D will be 8. So this is how you will do this question. So hopefully you understand. So this is how you do the question number 3. The whole question almost is showing up on your screen. So you can pause the video, you can take time, and you can do this question. So that was the question number 3. Okay, so now we are going to the next question, and the next question coming up on your screen is question number 4. He says the variables x and y are connected by the equation y equals to 10 minus x square. Some values of the x and the corresponding values of the y are given in the table. Okay, so here the whole table has been completed already by the book. X values are going from -4 up to +3. The values of the y, the minimum value of the y is -2, and the maximum value of the y is going, according to this table, up to 10. So on a sheet of graph paper, using a scale of 2 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the y-axis, draw the graph of y equals to 10 minus x square for the values of the x from which are equals to -4 and more than -4 and less than or equals to 3. Okay, so I will draw the grid, and the x values are going from -4 to +3. The values of the y, they are going from -2 up to +10. So keeping these values in my mind, so this is question number 4, and we will keep this in our mind, these values, and we will choose our scale. So you can see here, let me show it like this. Okay, so the first thing which I will do, I will draw the grid. So you can see this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. On the x-axis, 2 centimeter represents 1 unit, and on the y-axis, 1 centimeter represents 1 unit. So that is the scale already given by the book. And then we will plot the points. So I can check the points at -4. You have to, at -4, -2. So I will put this dot. At -3, you will have 4. At -3, I will have this dot. Okay. At -2, we will have 8. At -2, you will have 8. So I will put this dot. At -1, you will have 10. So at -1, I will put this dot at 10. And at at 0, we will have 10. So at 0, I will put this dot. This is the 10. And at 1, you will have 8. At 1, I will put this dot at 8. Okay, then you will have at 2, you will have 4. So at -3, you will, at 3, you will have -2. So I put this dot. So this dot and this dot. Okay. So then I will join them with a smooth curve. So I will join them with a smooth curve. So there will be one problem. These 2 points, at -1, you get 10, and at 0, you got 10. So these 2 points are at the same level. So they will make the graph flat. So I will take another value, and that value I will take at x equals to -0.5. So in my equation, I will substitute x with the -0.5 and find out what is the value of the y, and that will be 10.25. So I'll put this dot, and then you can see now that this is not the turning point here. Here the graph is not flat, so I will make it to a smooth turn. Okay, so this is how you will do this. Once you have joined all these points, you will get this smooth curve. So let's see what are the next questions they are asking us. So let me show you. So you can see we have taken 10.25. Okay. So the next question they are asking is, use your graph in a part to find the value of the y when the x is equals to -1.5. So x equals to -1.5 will be a vertical line which will be passing from x equals to -1.5. So when it will cut your graph, we will check what is the value of the. So you can see here at the value x equals to -1.5, I have drawn a line, this line, and when it cuts the graph, I will check what is the value of the y here. So I have drawn this vertical line at x equals to -1.5. You can see x equals to -1.5. So it cuts that quadratic graph at this point. So I will check what is the value of the y here. That is the question. Okay, so the value of the y here is approximately 9. So let me show you. This is the 9. I have noted it here. Okay, the next thing they are asking is the maximum value of the y and the value of the x at which this occurs. Okay, so the maximum value is here, and that value is 10.25. And what is the value of the y here? It is, I think, minus 0.5. So this value happened, and the maximum value of the y will be 10.25. And this happened when the value of the x is minus 0.5. Okay, so this is how you do this. And then in the C part, they say by drawing an appropriate line in your graph paper, in the A part, solve the equation 10 minus x square equals to 1.6. So 10 minus x square equals to 1.6. So if you look at this left side, 10 minus x minus x square equals, this is exactly that expression whose graph you have drawn. So whatever is on the right side, that is 1.6, I will say this will be the line. So you make it equals to y. So y equals to 1.6. So this left side represents the curve, and this right side represents the line. So the line is y equals to 1.6. So I will draw that line. I will draw that line y equals to 1.6. So you can see here, I have drawn that line y equals to 1.6. So I will draw this horizontal line on my graph paper. So when this line cuts the main graph, wherever it cuts, it is cutting that main graph at 2 points. So because it is cutting that the main graph at 2 points, so I will check what is the value of the x here. It is minus 3 point something, and here it is 2 point something. So I have noted it down. It is minus 3.4 and 2.4. So this is how you will find this answer, and I hope you understand this, and this will come again in other questions, so we will also practice them. Okay, so that was the question number 5, question number 4. So let me reduce the size so you can see the whole question. So I hope this is the question number 4. The whole graph is showing up on your screen. You can pause the video. You can take your time. I hope you understand this. The picture of the graph is not that clear. We have tried to make it very clear, but unfortunately. Okay. Now it says if a store prices each book at X dollar, it means the price of the one book is X dollar. 64 minus 8x books will be sold. This is the number of the books sold. 64 minus 8x. He says the total amount of the money earned from the sale of the books is Y dollar. Express the Y in terms of the X. Okay, so the price of each book multiplied with the number of the books sold, you will get the amount of the money which they will earn, and they will represent with the X. So let me show you. Here we go. Okay, so you see y will be equals to x bracket 64 minus 8x. You multiply x with the price of the one book is X dollar. Number of the books are 64 minus 8x. You multiply the price of one book with the number of the books. You get the total money which you will earn from it. So y will be equals to 64x minus 8x squared. So then they say, and that is the first part of the question. Then they say on a sheet of the graph paper using a scale of 2 centimeter to represent $1 on the x-axis, and the 1 centimeter represents $10 on the y-axis. Draw the graph of the y for x equals to and greater than 0 and less than and equals to 8. Okay, so we have that equation, y is equals to 64x minus 8x squared. So I will put the different values of the x from 0 to 8 in this equation, and I will make a table, and then we will plot this on the graph. So grid for the graph is 2 centimeter represents $1 on the x-axis. That on the x-axis we have the price of the one book, and on the y-axis we have the total earning from the sale of the books. Okay, so I will, here you can see we have we have drawn a table. So in this table, I'm taking the values of the x from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I put these different values in that equation, y equals to 64x minus 8x squared, so I get these values. So for example, when I put 0, so how you will do this on the calculator? 64 bracket start 0 bracket close minus 8 bracket start 0 bracket close whole square equals to 0. So this will be the value of the y. When the value of the x will be 1, so it will be 64 bracket start 1 bracket close minus 8 bracket start 1 bracket close square equals 2, and you will get 56. So when you put 2, so in your calculator you will write 64 bracket start 2 bracket close minus 8 bracket start 2 bracket close cube equal square equals to 96. So when you put the x value as 3, you get 120. When you put x as 4, you get 128. When you put x as 120, you get, so when you put x as 5, you get 120. At 6, you get 96. 7, when you put x equals to 7, you get 56. The y value will be 56. When you put x equals to 8, the y value will be 0. So now we have to draw this graph, and the scale for the graph they have already given. On the x-axis, 2 centimeter will represent 1, and on the x-axis, on the y-axis, you will have 1 centimeter represents $10. So you can see this is the y value that is going from 0 to 128, and the x value is going from 0 to 8. So we will draw this graph. Okay, so we are going to draw this graph. So let me show you. So I will draw this graph, question number 5, and you can see I have drawn this grid. On the y-axis, I have taken 2 centimeter represents 1, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the y-axis, you have 1 centimeter represents $10, so 2 centimeter represents $20. So now I will use that table. At 0, I will put a dot of the 0. At 0, I will put a dot of the 0, and at 1, I will put a dot of the 56. At 1, I put a dot of the 56. Then at the 2, you will have a dot of 96. So at 2, we will put the dot of the 96, and then you have 3. At the 3, you have the dot of 120, and at 4, you have dot of 128. At 5, you have dot of at 120, and at 6, you will have 96. At 6, you will have 96. We put that dot. At 7, you will have 56. At 7, you will have 56, and at 8, you will have 0. Then I will join these dots with a smooth curve. So this is how you will draw this. I've joined the points with a smooth curve. Okay. So this is showing up on the screen. Okay, now the question is, so we have drawn that graph. Now they say, use your graph in the second to find the amount at which the store should price each book such that the total amount earned is at maximum. Okay, so the total amount earned we have represented on the on the y-axis. This is the total amount earned. This is the price of each book. So when is the total amount earned maximum? This is here. It is 120 something, 128, and this happens when the price of the one book is $4. So this is this is that part. Okay, then they say, so oh yeah, that's it. This was the question. Okay, now you can see I'm just trying to show you the whole graph paper. So if you are watching this video, you can also draw that graph paper. So let me show you. Okay, so now, okay, so that is the whole graph paper for the question number 5. So the maximum earning will happen when the price of one book is $4, and that maximum earning is $128. So this is how you will do this. Okay, so we are going to the next question. The next question coming up on your screen, and that is, he says, question number 6, the length of a side and the corresponding height of a triangle are x plus 2 and 7 minus x centimeter respectively. Write down a formula for the area A of the triangle in terms of the x and show that then the area will reduce to 7 plus 5 by 2 into x minus 1 by 2 into x squared. So, okay, so let me show you how this is done. So, okay, so here we go. So exercise 5C, D from the D2, question number 6, first part. Suppose we are talking about a triangle and the base of the triangle is x plus 2 and the height of the triangle is 7 minus x. The area of the triangle is 1 by 2 into base into height. So I will put here 1 by 2 into the base is x plus 2 and the height is 7 minus x. They both are in brackets. So this bracket and this bracket will multiply. 1 by 2 will remain outside. So this x will multiply with this bracket. Then this plus 2 will multiply with this bracket. So you will have 7x minus x squared plus 14 minus 2x. So it will be 14 plus 5x and minus x squared. So I will put this 2 under all of them. So 14 divided by 2 will be 7. 5 by 2 into x, and this will be minus x squared divided by 2. So this was the shape which they asked us to deduce. Okay, so we have showed and we have also found this shape. Okay, then what they want. On a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 centimeter, on the x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 1 centimeter square, on the a-axis, draw the graph of a equals to that equation is given, and the value of the x we will take from 0 to 8. Okay, so I will make a table. So you can see here, this is my equation. Area is equals to 7 plus 5 by 2 into x minus 1 by 2 x square, and the values of the x I will take from 0 to 8. So I have you can see I have drawn that table. I have taken 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in your calculator, for example, I have tried to show that when you entered the x value 0 in that equation, you will write in the calculator 7 plus 5 divided 2 multiply 0 minus 1 by 2 multiply 0 square, and the answer will be 7. Then I will write the 7 in the table. Okay, so now I will substitute the x with the 1. So in your calculator, you will write 7 plus 5 divided 2 multiply 1 minus 1 divided by 2 multiply 1 square equals to, and that will be 9. In the same way, I will use the x value 3 in that formula. So I will write here in the calculator 7 plus 5 divided 2 multiply 2 minus 1 by 2 multiply 2 square equals to, and that will be 10. So in the same way, I will enter all these numbers. At 4 you will have at 2 you have 10, at 3 you have 10, at 4 you get 9, at 5 you get 7, at 6 you get 4, at 7 you get 0, and at 8 you get minus 5. So this is how you will do this table, and then we will plot this graph. So on both the axes, I think that the graph they have given us, the scale they are giving us 1 centimeter to represent 1 centimeter on the x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 1 centimeter square on the a-axis. On the y-axis, 1 centimeter will be representing 1 centimeter square area, and on the x-axis, okay. So your values of the x, they are going from 0 to 8, and the values of the y, they are going from minus 5 up to 8, up to 10, sorry. So according to this, I will make my grid. Okay, so you can see here, I have drawn the grid on the x-axis. 1 centimeter represents 1, and on the y-axis also 1 centimeter represents 1 centimeter square. So then I will plot those points. So at the 0 you will have 7. So you can see I put a dot here. At 1 you have 9. So at 1 you have 9. I put dot here. At 2 you have 10. At 2 we have 10. So I put a dot here. At 3 you have 10. Again, the points are on the same level. So I have to need to find take another value between the 2 and the 3. So then you at 4 you will have 9. At 4 you will have 9. So I will put this dot. And at 5 you have 7. So at 5 you will have 7. So I will put this dot. And at 6 you will have 4. So at 6 we will have 4. So this is that dot. And then you have at 7 you will have 0. At 7 you will have that 0. I put that dot. And at 8 you will have minus 5. At 8, I will put, and then minus 5 here. So that dot will be here. So I will join them with a smooth curve. But here is a problem. These 2 points are on the same level. And because this is a quadratic graph, so we cannot make that portion flat. So I will take a value between 2 and 3, x value 2 and 3. That will be 2.5. So in that equation, I will put x equals to 2.5 and find out the value of the y. And let me show you. So this is that equation, 7 plus 5 by 2 into x minus 1 by 2x squared. So I will find out the value at the 2.5, and let me show you. Oh, sorry. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So it will be 10.125 at x equals to 2.5. So I will put this graph and then I will join these points and you will get this graph. Okay. So this is that graph. Now, once this graph is drawn, then their question is use your graph in the second part to find the length of the side of the triangle and its corresponding height that will result in its maximum area. So if you look at this graph, the maximum area is here, which is 10 point something, and this happens when the value of the x is 2.5. The maximum area is in this graph when the x value is 2.5. So now the length, suppose the length is x plus 2, and so it will be 2.5. The value of the x is 2.5, so 2.5 plus 2, so the length is 4.5. Height will be 7 minus x, so that will be 7 minus 2.5, and that will be also 4.5x. So this is how you will do this graph. So my dear students, I'm showing you this graph, so hopefully you understand this. This is question number 6. So on your screen you can see the whole graph and its points and its lines and the final answers. Okay, so we are going to the next. So that's it. Okay, so now we are going to the next question. The next question coming up on your screen is question number 7. He says the variable x and y are connected by the equation y is equal to x squared minus 2x. Some values of x and the corresponding values of the y are given in the table. So this table is already completed. Question number 7, the values of the x and y, they are completed. On a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit on each axis, draw the graph of the y equals to x squared minus 2x for x greater than or equals to minus 2 and less than or equals to 4. So the values of the x, they are going from minus 2 to 4, and the values of the y, the minimum value of the y is minus 1 according to this table, and the maximum value is 8. So on each scale, 2 centimeter will represent 1 unit. So I will choose a graph. So for example, this is question number 7. I hope you can see that. So this is that table for this question, and then I will draw this table on according to this table. I have chosen a grid. So here we go. So let me show you. So I will draw this line, the x-axis here, the y-axis and the x-axis. So 2 centimeter represents 1 on both the axes. So here you can see after 2 centimeter I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On this side I have written minus 1 and minus 2. On the y-axis the scale is the same. 2 centimeter represents 1. So I will write here, for example, you can see here written 1, 2, 3, 4 after every 2 centimeters, okay? And they are also going in the negative numbers. So we have the table at minus 2, I will put a dot of 8. At minus 2, the dot of 8, I will put this dot. And at minus 1, you have the dot of 3. Okay, at minus 1, it will be 3. I put this dot. And at 0, you will have 0. So I put this dot. And at 1 you will have minus 1. At 1 you will have minus 1, so I put this dot. Okay, at 2 you will have 0. So at 2 you will have 0, so I will put this dot here. Okay, at 3 you will have 3, so we will put at 3 you will have 3, so I will put a dot here. So at 4 you will have 8, so at 4 we will have 8, so we'll put this dot here. Then I will join these points with a smooth curve, and you can see this parabola. Hopefully you understand, and let me show you. Now I will increase the size so you can see the whole question. So you can see these are the points, and I've drawn this graph. So this is how you will have this question. This is question number 7. Okay, now use your graph in the A to find the value of the x when the y is 1. Y equals to 1 is a horizontal line. So I will draw that line so you can see that. So we will draw this line y equals to -1. So I can use, you can see, sorry, not -1, y equals to, let me see. When the y is equals to 1, by mistake I have written here -1, it is +1. So I have drawn that line y equals to 1 at this point, and when it cuts your graph, I will check what are the values of the x. So this line y equals to 1, by mistake I wrote here -1, it's +1. Okay, this is that line. So when it cuts your graph, so check what is the value of the x there. I have noted it. So x will be -0.4. Here the x value is -0.4, and here it is 2.4, I think. So here you can see I have given that these answers. Okay, then their question is the minimum value of the y. So what is the minimum value of the y? So let me show you. From here, I can find out the minimum value of the y, that is -1. So the minimum value of the y will be -1. So this is how you will do that. Okay, then their question is state the coefficient of the line of the symmetry of the graph. So the line of symmetry is always a vertical line, and it passes from the turning point. And you can see I've drawn that line of symmetry here. And the coefficient of the line of symmetry, because it's a vertical line, will be x equals to 1. X equals to 1. So let me increase the size so I can show you more clearly. So here you can see this is that line, and this is a vertical line which cuts the graph into 2 equal parts. And that line will be, it's a vertical line passing from x equals to 1. So its equation will be x equals to 1. So the line of symmetry will be x equals to 1. So we are done with that part. Okay, now the question is by drawing an appropriate line in your graph, in the A part, solve the equation x squared minus 2x equals to x. So if you look at carefully in this equation, this is what they want us to find out the solution. X squared minus 2x equals to x. If you look at the left side, it is exactly the equation of the curve whose graph you have drawn, x squared minus 2x. So whatever is on the right side, I will suppose it's a line. So it's x, I will suppose it equals to y. So y equals to x, that is a line. So I will make a table, and I will take some values of the x. At 0, y value will be 0. At 1, y value will be 1. At 2, you will have y value 2. At 3, you will have y value as 3. So this is how you will do this. This is question number 7. So then I will plot those points here at 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Then I will join these dots with each other. So this is the line. So when this line cuts your graph, wherever it cuts your graph, and let me show you, it cuts here and it cuts here. Here the value of the x is I think -1. No, it's -0.5, and it cuts the graph here, and here the x value is 3. So one value of the x will be 3, the other value will be 0. So this is how you will do this. Let me show you on a bigger screen. So let me increase the size so you can see at here the x value is -0.5. Here the x value is 3. Okay. So the next thing they are asking is by drawing. So we are done with this. Okay. There one question was what is the minimum value of the y. I don't remember, -1. Okay, the minimum value of the y. Okay, so we are done with the question number 7. So now we are going to the next question. That question is question number 8. He says the value of an asset can be modeled by y equals to 2x squared minus 4x plus 7, where y is the value of the asset in thousands of dollars and x is the time in years. On a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 year on the x-axis and the 1 centimeter to represent $1,000 on the y-axis. Draw the graph. Y equals to 2x squared minus 4x plus 7 for x equals to and greater than 0 and less than equals to 3. So I will make a table here. You can see I have drawn that table here. So here you can see I have drawn that table. So this is how you will make that table. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So y is equals to 2x squared minus 4x plus 7. So I'm going to take the values from 0 to 3, the values of x. So suppose I will take 0, 0 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. So in that equation, in the place of x, I will substitute 0. For example, in your calculator, you will write 2 bracket start 0 bracket close square minus 4 bracket start and 0 bracket close plus 7 equals to, and that will be 7. In the same way, I will put here y equals to. So in your calculator, you will enter 2 bracket 0.5 bracket close square minus 4 bracket 0.5 bracket close plus 7 equals to, and that will be 5.5. In the same way, I can enter x as 1 in that equation. So substitute x with 1. So you will have y equals to 2 bracket 1 square minus 4 bracket 1 and bracket close plus 7 equals to, you will have 5. And in the same way, I can write x equals to 1.5. So you will write 2 bracket 1.5 bracket close square minus 4 bracket 1.5 bracket close plus 7 equals to, and that will be 7. So in this way, I have completed this table. At 0, you get 7. At 0.5, you get 5.5. At 1, you get 5. At 1.5, you get 5.5. At 2, you get 7. 2.5, y will be 9.5. And when the x is 3, the y will be 13. So your x values are going from 0 to 3, and the values of the y, they are going from, the minimum value of the y is 5 and up to 13 it is going. So according to this, we will draw the grid, and let me see if they have given us the scale. Yeah, 1 centimeter represents 1 year on the x-axis, and 1 centimeter represents 1 on the y-axis, and 1 means $1,000. Okay. So I will draw this on the graph paper, and here you can see we have drawn that grid. So 1 represents 1 on the x-axis, and on the y-axis 1 represents 1, and on the y-axis 1 actually means 1,000. So I will plot that graph according to the scale they have given us. So let me show you. At 0, I will put 7. At the 0, I will put the table of the. So, okay, there's some problem. Okay, let me escape from here. So, so this is the table. At 0, we'll put the dot of 7. At 0.5, we will put the dot of 5.5. At 1, I will put the dot of, page view. Let me change the page view so we can 2 pages together. Okay, but this does not help. Okay, so I will put those points. Let me show you those points here. Okay, at 1 you have, at 0 you have 7 value, and then at 1 you have 5.5 value. At sorry, at 0.5 you have 5.5 value, At 1, your value is 5. At 2, your value is 5.5. At 2.5, your value is 7. At 3, you have a value of 9.5. At not at 3, at 2.5, sorry. And at 3, you have values of 13. So I will join these points. So I was using that table. So according to that table, I will put the dots in my graph paper, and then I will join them with the smooth curve. Okay, so this is that smooth curve. So hopefully you understand, and let's see what is their last question. He says, use your graph in the first part to find the minimum value of the asset and the time at which it occurs. Okay, the minimum value of this asset is here. The minimum value of this asset is here, and it is 5. 5 means $5,000. And this happens when the time is 1 year. Time is 1 year. Okay, so hopefully you understand. So now this whole graph of the question number 8 of the exercise 5C from the D2 book, New Syllabus Mathematics, 7th edition is showing up. Okay, so my dear students, this is that's the end of that exercise. So we have completed the whole exercise in our one session. So this is a good news, and we are on. So we have completed that exercise. So my dear students, this was the exercise 5C from the D2 book. The name of the book is New Syllabus Mathematics 7th editions. We have completed this whole exercise 5C. This was about the graphs of the quadratic functions. So I hope that this video will help you to make these graph papers. The best way to learning this is that you should have a graph paper, and we were using centimeter, the graph which is in the centimeters, and you also plot these graphs yourself, and you can learn from this video, and you plot it yourself, then you will actually learn. So I hope this video will help you. If you find this video useful and interesting, please share the link of this video onto your Facebook accounts and onto your Instagram accounts and onto your Twitter accounts. Also like this video. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel, because that's a great appreciation for me and for my work. So thank you very much. It's a great blessing from the God for me to be able to do this. I feel honored. So thank you very much, sir, everyone. Have a good day. God bless you all.